Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Today's lecture is about the structure of atom. It is the second lecture from the unit 2 SSU 1. In this topic we will learn about the isotopes. Here you can see the picture of two atoms. These two atoms are the A and B, and now concentrate on the similarities and differences of these two atoms. First of all, the similarities between the two atoms are both the atoms have the same number of protons. You can see P is indicating the number of protons, and both atom A and B, they have the 10 number of protons. Both the atoms have the same number of electrons, as there are the 10 protons present. In the same way there are the 10 electrons are present, and both have the same atomic number. Atomic number is actually the number of protons present in the nucleus. So as the number of protons are the same, it means they will have the same atomic number. Now look at the differences between these two atoms. First difference is they have the different number of neutrons. Here N is indicating the number of neutrons. So A atom has the 10 neutrons and atom B have the 11 neutrons. So number of neutrons are different. As the number of neutrons are different, it means both of atoms, they have different atomic masses. They have different mass number, as mass number is the sum of the total number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus. So both atoms, they have the similar atomic number, but they have the different atomic masses, and this atomic mass is different due to the presence of different number of neutrons. So we will say that these atom A and B, these are the isotope of the same element. Why we say that it is the same element? Because they have the same number of protons. So isotopes are the atoms of an element whose nuclei have the same atomic number but different mass number, and it is due to the presence of different number of neutrons. As isotopes, they have the same atomic number but different atomic masses. This word isotope is first used by the scientist Soddy, and it is a Greek word. Isos means the same and top means the place. Here you can see the isotopes of the chlorine. Chlorine has a two isotopic forms. One is the having the proton 17 and neutron 18, and second chlorine atom has the 17 proton but 20 neutrons. So number of neutrons are different, but number of protons and electrons are the same. Isotopes are chemically alike, means chemical properties of the isotopes are the same, and they are differ in their physical properties, and physical properties of isotopes are different. And why they have the same chemical properties? It is because that chemical properties depends on the number of valence electrons. As you can see that here the chlorine has the same, isotopes of chlorine have the same number of electrons. So they have same number of electrons, their valence shall have the same number of electrons, so they will have the same chemical properties. But physical properties always depend on the atomic mass, as both of the atoms, they have the different masses, their atomic mass is different, so their physical properties will also be different. Here we will learn about the isotopes of the hydrogen. Hydrogen has three isotopes, H11, H12 and H13. H11 is considered as the normal hydrogen or ordinary hydrogen. It is also called the protium. It has one proton, one electron, and do not carry any neutron. Second isotope of hydrogen is the deuterium. Deuterium, in deuterium there is one proton, one electron, but it has one neutron. And third isotope of hydrogen is the tritium. Tritium has one proton, one electron and two neutrons. You can see the number of neutrons are different in these three isotopes. So the protium hydrogen, it is the colorless, odorless and tasteless gas. Odorless means do not have any smell, and it is tasteless, do not have any taste. insoluble in water, as I have told you that insoluble mean does not dissolve in the water, and is highly inflammable gas. Inflammable gas mean it can catch the fire easily. And second isotope of the hydrogen, in which number of neutron are 1, and it is indicated by the H2. So the hydrogen 2 atom are present in the water, then that water is called the heavy water. And naturally occurring hydrogen, it contains 99.99% of the protium hydrogen and 0.0015% deuterium hydrogen. And third isotope of hydrogen, that is the tritium. It is a radioactive and it is very rare, and it is not found in naturally occurring hydrogen because its nucleus is unstable. Here you can see the isotopes of the carbon. Carbon exists in 3 isotopic forms. These are the in black or grayish color except the diamond, and they are odorless and tasteless, having the high melting and boiling points, and they are also insoluble in the water. These 6 isotopes are the C612, C613 and C614. What they indicate that C612, it has a 6 proton, 6 electron and 6 neutron. C613, it's showing that there are the 6 protons, 6 electrons and 7 neutrons. And C614, it shows that there are the 6 proton and 6 electron, but number of neutrons are 8. Now the isotopes of the uranium. Uranium has the 3 isotopes: uranium 92-234, uranium 92-235 and uranium 92-238. Uranium 92-235, this isotope is used in the nuclear reactors and atomic bombs. Uranium 238, it decays into the thorium 235 and it emits the alpha particles. It is the radioactive isotope of the uranium 238. It emits the alpha particles when it decay and transform into the thorium element. And alpha particles, as I have already told you, these are the doubly positive charge and equal to the helium nuclei. Uranium 235, it is used in the fission reactions, and during the fission reactions, this uranium nuclei, it produces a smaller nuclei, neutron and the energy. Fission is the process in which heavier nuclei are decomposed or you will not use the word decompose. Heavier nuclei is broken down into the smaller nuclei. So the nuclear energy produced during this fission reaction, you can say that 1 kilogram of the uranium 235, when it is keep up to the fission reaction, it will produce the energy that is equal to burning of the more than 17,000 kilogram of the coal. So this huge amount of the energy is produced by the fission of uranium 235. Now different uses of isotopes, they have the wide use in the field of medical as well as in field of research. So medically these isotopes are used in different phases. They just like the radioactive iodine 131 is used as the tracer in diagnosing the thyroid problem, and sodium 25, it is used to trace the flow of blood, and it is used to detect the constriction or obstruction in the circulatory system where the veins are narrowed down or where the vein is blocked. It is detected by the sodium 24. Iodine 123 is used to image the brain, and cobalt 60, this isotope is used to radiate the cancer cells or in the hope of the killing or shrinking of the tumors. These isotopes has also widely used in the research projects, just like the carbon 14 is used to trace the path of the carbon in photosynthesis, and the photosynthesis unit, the carbon is used, so we can trace the path of photosynthesis, process of the photosynthesis by using this carbon 14. And radioactive isotopes are used to determine the molecular structure, just like the sulfur 35, it is used for the structure determination of the thiosulfate. Radioactive isotopes are also used to study the mechanism of the chemical reactions, and these radioactive isotopes are also used to date the rocks, soil, archaeological object, and mummies. Mean we can find out at what time these objects were present in the past. So the carbon dating, what is this carbon dating? Carbon dating is actually the process in which we can estimate how long the object was in the past, and this is called the carbon dating. And how this carbon dating is carried out, actually the living organisms, they absorb all type of the carbon from the surrounding carbon, whether it is present in the carbon 12, carbon 13, or carbon 14. And in the living organism, with the passage of the time, the ratio of the carbon 14 and carbon 12, it is continually increasing. But what happens once the death occurs? After the death, carbon 14 does not remain the part of the living organism. It remain the part of the dead organism. It start to decrease because it is leaving the body of the organism. So carbon 14, when it leave the body, it start to decay. So carbon 14 and carbon 12 ratio keep on decreasing in the dead organism. So by comparing the activity of the sample of the skull or jaw bones with the activity of the living tissue, we can estimate that how long was this organism present in the past. Now thank you very much for listening me with patience, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel. Allah Hafiz.